joke. That joke's getting overdone.
I tried. I played 2 games, 2 of the main series, and then you tell me
the main series is the worst part of the game.
What's not a good series?
I'm kidding. I just wanted to see what you would say. I should have saved that for the podcast.
Oh, don't worry. I hit record.
Oh, good, because I
think I hit record right in time. So
oh God,
I don't know. Do we want to
just
do we want to just jump right in this?
Hey guys, right now this is Patreon exclusive. Maybe one day it won't be. Probably one day it won't be because Kevin and I suck at scheduling.
Hit you, Garble.
So this isn't the main intro because there'll be another intro later when it gets released. But this is for the Patreon peeps right now.
Buy your Console Kev shirt. Look at
Console
this.
Kev sucks.
Happy little streams.
And today we're going to be tier listing. It's supposed to be our top 10 favorite franchises each. And then there was a couple of crossovers, so we each added 2 extra to put it up to like 21, I think it is. So
yeah,
it was
here's
over
the
20
deal, though.
still.
On the spot, being told to pick my favorite top 10 is hard because I don't think I've played a full series except for like Uncharted.
Yeah, but
so
like
it's rough.
It's still, but so like for me, I've like Star Wars: Knights of the Republic doesn't count because there's only 2, but like. There's a few games in Assassin's Creed I haven't played, but 1, I've played enough of them to care, and 2, Assassin's Creed has one of my top 10 favorite games of all time, so I would include that even if I didn't play any of the others.
Fair.
In a sense, it's almost like your top 10 favorite games from different franchises, and then you just... That makes it so you don't rate only your top 10 favorite games, because then everything will just be S tier.
Well, yeah, but like...
Because there's games in every franchise that aren't the best. So, like, think about your top 10 favorite games, and then once you make it to that, if there's doubles, cut it out, and then go to your top 15 until you have the top 10 favorite games of different franchises, and then the Ghost just knocks something over behind Kev.
Holy shit,
and
that scared me.
And then I was actually watching it happen. That was kind of funny.
God damn, that scared the fuck out of me. It was toilet paper.
And then you rate the whole franchise, because, I mean, there's games in every franchise that aren't the best.
Yeah, well, so I wanted to put Legend of Dragoon on here, but there's only 1 game in that franchise, so I don't, like, consider it a series, so I didn't put it on here for this. But just know it's...
Well, I put KOTOR on here, even though there's only 2.
No, there's 3 if you count the MMO.
I've never played the MMO.
Well,
I hate MMOs.
So I guess we should start... Should we just do it in the order that they're uploaded?
You put them up there, so that's your decision. We could just choose 1 from each person and go back and forth.
Nope, we're already here with Assassin's Creed. I would say B, actually. Because I'm going to go over the ones I've played. So Assassin's Creed 1 is tedious as fuck. Honestly, I'm surprised...
It's definitely very hard to go back and play now, but it did set the foundation for a franchise that's really good.
I would argue the second game did, not even the first one.
No, I still think the first one did, because there's a lot of stuff in the first one that's carried over.
Who talks about Altair?
Yeah, I love Altair.
Yeah, but like in the story, they brought him up, I think, once in like 4. And they're like, oh yeah, Altair exists, right?
I mean, Revelations is all about Altair and Ezio coming together.
I guess, but I feel like Ezio like really set that story off. He actually had like a personality and like.
Well, that's why a lot of people argue that they should do more than 1 game per character so they can do stuff like that more often. But that's a different argument for a different day.
I mean, that is, but like, I don't know. The thing that kills me about Assassin's Creed, and I know I'm probably speaking of a place of straight up ignorance, but almost all the settings, like from the ones I played, feel the same. They're like Middle Eastern or colonial. And they're different places and times, but they all just look brown.
It's the older ones. As you start playing newer ones and start getting newer, it does change.
I've gone up to Rome. That's as far as I've gotten.
You can feel the difference. Like, obviously, Origins and Odyssey are really different. They're also very, very colorful now. Like, I'm super excited for what Valhalla's gonna look like, but like they actually like. I don't know. The worlds are a lot more alive now. I will say, taking that break and now that they're not doing it every single year definitely saved the franchise, because the franchise was kind of going downhill, because not that the games that they released were bad once they fixed them, but because they were rushing to put out a game every year, they were putting out broken games.
Right.
And that's going to kill a franchise. So if you go back and play some of the games that were broken, like Syndicate and the other one from that time period that I've only played
Unity,
a little bit
Unity.
of. Yeah, Unity. When they came out, they were broken messes and almost killed the franchise. But if you go back and play them now that they're fixed, they're actually good games. But that doesn't take away from the fact that they did ruin their reputation by releasing broken messes.
They did. It's just again, the first one I just feel like was throwaway. 2 really spiked it up. Like Ezio was a
2 was really good.
Brotherhood I
Ezio's
loved.
great.
Revelation I loved. 3 brought it right back down. I hated 3.
I disagree. I mean, 3's not my favorite. I do think 3 could have been a lot better. But I still think 3's better than people give credit for. I think a lot of people were mad that it wasn't Ezio. I think that was a big issue.
I don't think that was because
that was a very big issue.
I don't know. I was working at GameStop at the time, and I remember people were hyped for 3. There were no issues with that. Like people knew Connor existed, but my issue was up to that point. Like they were trying to keep a historical accuracy of when the people died in real life, these people died and it was actually said assassin that killed them. But when you get to the Revolutionary War, nobody of real importance died around that time. So I kind of feel like they were in a creative bubble of what the fuck do we do? Nobody important died then.
I mean, they kind of did.
They kind of all made
a lot of
it during the war. All the founding fathers were all right, they were pretty all right,
I don't know. I don't think it had to be like that, though. I think
also,
the main issue. Well, I mean, if you look at, there's reasons for it.
I know.
I do agree. Connors is a weaker character. I think he could have been better, but I don't think it brought it down to where it was a bad game. I just think
it was boring.
It was different than what people were expecting. I do think it did a really good job of starting the naval combat.
Yep.
It wasn't the best in that game, but they made it really a lot better when Black Flag came out.
So when I was playing through, I'm playing them all in order slowly over time, and I honestly took 4 years off Assassin's Creed because 3 disappointed me so much I didn't want to play 4, and then I'm happy I did because 4 is great. 4 is on the same level as 2 for me.
4 for me is a bad Assassin's Creed game, but it's a great video game. Yeah, it's a great video game. I love it. Yeah. But when it comes to Assassin's Creed, it's not a good Assassin's Creed.
I mean, Edward was dope as hell, and then
but it is kind of different compared to the rest of them, and the characters were good, the story's solid, the gameplay's fun.
Yeah, and then Rogue, I finished Rogue, but the whole time I was this game is so goddamn average.
Wasn't the one that originally released on
PS3 and 360.
PS3 and 360 after PS4 and Xbox One.
It came out the same day as Unity, which is weird.
Yeah.
So they sent it out to die, but I don't know, averaging those out, I still think B is where the whole series lands. But I haven't played the newer ones.
See, and that's the thing. I think you going to play Unity and Syndicate now, you'll be okay, these games are good. The one with the twins is really good, which I don't remember which is which, honestly.
But then do we count in the weird spin-off, the side-scroller games? Because it's still part of it.
I hated those.
So you got to average those in, right?
I said we can include those, but then Origins and Odyssey bump it up. I think Odyssey is the best game in the franchise, in my opinion.
I've heard that.
I absolutely so Odyssey. I played a lot, but I never played to finish because it did kind of lose my interest because it's so big of a game.
Yeah, and I've heard that a lot.
Odyssey,
it's just it's too much.
Odyssey is just as big as Origins, but kept my attention and I finished it. And you know how I am about finishing games.
Yeah, but I've heard Odyssey. I mean, this is going for me, so I wouldn't play Odyssey first. But I heard Odyssey almost kills Origins because it's very similar, but it does it way better.
Well, I mean, it came out after. Origins was a completely new style that the franchise took into a more action-y RPG style, and I think it was very they were trying things, which I was happy about because it made the game different. And they went to Egypt, which was the big draw. Everyone wanted ancient Egypt. And then Odyssey took that and fixed the things that people had complaints about and just made it better. And that's why I think, like I said, Origins was great. I also like how they add a lot of myths into these two games where in Origins, you can fight like Egyptian god type things. There's like sections with mummies, and I don't think it's part of the main story. I think it's side story shit, but like fucking DLC and stuff. But I really enjoyed that they were actually willing to take risks and do silly things like that. Yeah. I don't know. I think both of those games are A+ to S tier for me. I think Assassin's Creed 2 through Revelations is S tier. I think 3 is C tier. I think 1 is like C-.
I feel like B is the
4,
average still, though.
4 is B, and then I think Unity and Syndicate are B and A. So like, I personally would put it in a low A tier. But I also have an Assassin's Creed tattoo, so there's that.
Yeah, that's fine. I was thinking about getting one. I do like this series. I feel like B is where it's at, man.
I just think there's enough S and A's to bump it to A when there's only two games that you really complained about. You know what I mean?
I guess,
but the others have like 7 or 8 franchises.
Yeah, but the others are good. But like, are they A tier? I guess we'll see when we compare everything else. Maybe. Yeah,
like I said, this isn't. We can bump it around. I'm thinking in my head it's an A- because there's enough S and A's to bump it there.
Over here somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking in my head right now.
Yeah, okay. Dragon Quest. What do you know about Dragon Quest?
That it's not Dragon Warriors, and it made me really mad as a kid, so I didn't play Dragon Quest 8, but I've been playing 11, and I really like it.
What are you talking about? It is Dragon Warrior. Oh, you mean the Monsters game.
Yeah, the one. The original Dragon Quest type game that I played Monsters, was the Game Boy Color.
Yes.
Whatever it was. And it was basically Pokemon in that world, and it was absolutely awesome. So when I played Dragon Quest 8, I hated it, not because it was bad, but because I was coming in expecting a certain thing, and I was like, why can't I catch this fucking slime? This game sucks!
Well, so here's the thing. I would count those...
The games are really good.
Well, I would count those in... I'm going to make this bigger for everybody, for anyone that's watching the video. But the thing is, I would count those in because they're all kind of important games.
Are they part of the same franchise?
They're all part of the same franchise.
I don't know how it works.
It's just a spin-off franchise of it. So I would count those like we counted the side-scrolling games. But the thing about Dragon Quest is, number 1, you got Akira Toriyama art, so hype. 2, they're the most basic console RPGs, which in a way is kind of like a nice part about it. Like, you just have like in the first Dragon Warrior, it's you. There's no party. It's fight, magic, items. That is it. And, like, there's just something therapeutic as hell about grinding in these games that I still haven't figured out. I think the first one I played was 1. I finished it. Then I went to 9, which is the one that's on the cover art. And then I did 4, and now I'm doing 7. And all of them, even though they have, like... It's like Persona, where it has, like, oh, you see slimes, and there's a slime in this game, and a slime in that game. And they have all their similar characteristics, but, like, the gameplay is just... Maybe I think the great part about it is just the simplicity. It doesn't try to do too much.
It knows what it is, and it has one. It was like very like groundbreaking when the first one came out. It kind of set the foundation for a lot of things.
Yup.
But
also,
it's kept to its formula.
Slimes are cute.
I do love the slimes. I love like all the different types of slimes that they have in the game.
Yeah, and they all do different things. Have you seen? This is a side note. Have you seen the Dragon Quest 11 PS4?
I have, actually.
I want that metal slime dripping over the front. Oh, I want that.
It is really cool. I personally, from what I know of the series, the spin-offs I played and playing 11, and like I've watched video and some friends play some other ones, I would put it A tier above Assassin's Creed.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say it's got to be A. I wouldn't put it S yet, because as much as I loved 9, like 9's an A, 7's an A, 4 is an A.
Some of my issues with the game is stuff that you actually kind of like.
It's simple.
I think there's too much grinding. It kind of takes away, as someone who's big into stories, and even if it's a simple story, I just want to get to the story. And sometimes, like, I'm getting into the story. I've had this problem with 11. It's why I keep taking breaks from it. I'm getting into the story. It's starting to suck me in, and then I need to go grind for an hour and a half before I can do anything.
So I haven't played 11, but I know in the other ones, I do like a game where I can grind, and I can just go, and I can do other things. Like, I'm editing, I'm just like, tap an A while I'm doing this, tap an A. Love it.
Problem is, I'm playing on PS4, I can't do that because it takes up my screen.
Just get your laptop over here, tap an X.
But I don't have a laptop, I don't use it. It's the same screen as my PC, so...
I don't know what to tell you. That's a you
But
problem.
that's my biggest complaint with the franchise is, like, I get grinding's part of it, and I know there's games that are just meant to be kind of grindy,
Yeah.
but there's times when, like, the story's sucking you in. They're really getting, like, to a good part of the story where you want to know exactly what's next, and then it's like, haha, you got to go grind for an hour and a half before you can worry about it.
It is.
And that kills me. It kicks me out of it sometimes.
Which I get, and it's a valid argument. The only other complaint I would have is, like, I don't really like the item system in the newer games where it's like, I hold these items, this character holds these, this character holds these. And what you're holding is what you can use in battle, and your bag is, like, stuff you can use outside of battle. Like, sometimes I really need something in my bag, and I didn't put it on a character, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta go, like...
I don't mind that.
It's
for
minimal.
me, it adds more to strategy, so
Yes.
I like strategy stuff. Golden Sun's a similar style, except you don't have a separate bag. It's just whoever has that item can use it.
Right.
So,
but the bag is
I'm
a
used to
limited
that.
space, so you don't have to, like, worry about shitty stuff from shopkeeps. And the new one, if you buy a weapon, it's like, hey, you want to wear this weapon right now?
Yep.
It's like, all right, I'll put this in your bag. It's like, oh, your bag's full.
11 does that.
You want me to reorganize this? I'm like, yeah, fucking why not? Go in my bag, I guess, for me. The other thing I don't like, it's more the DS ones. When you suspend your save, normally it's like a quick save. Like, oh, all right, shut your game off, come back, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't erase that file. So you have to remember, like, if you suspend, like, did I normal save or did I suspend save last time? And that can kind of fuck you up.
Yeah, that would mess me up, because, like, what if, like, I suspend save, then I come back, play for 3 hours, then accidentally reload the suspend save or something.
So I just kind of, because it's on a 3DS, or at least on the play now, I just leave it on in sleep mode. I never use the suspend, but that's
fair.
Yeah. But honestly, I
Makes
think
sense.
I think it's a great RPG series. I would argue it's
I have
one
no,
coming up.
like, I have, like, no real complaints about it besides, like I said, the grindy thing really gets me. I haven't played a lot, and like you said, if you include the spin-offs, that boosts it for me, because I love the Pokemon versions of it.
Yeah, I got to play Monsters. I've heard they're honestly great Pokemon ripoffs.
So good.
So A tier it is. What is this? Oh, is that next? No. Oh, yeah. No. This one's
up
next.
to you.
This one's next. I know nothing about it, so you're on your own.
All right. Dragon Age Origins is an S+ tier game.
Okay.
The first game of the series. It's kind of like a real-time RPG mixed with strategy, because you can also pause. But it's very RPG, getting characters and stuff. It's very... Have you played Mass Effect? No, you've only played one of them, right?
I've only played 2.
Okay, well, so gameplay-wise, it's not the same, but, like, I mean, it's made by BioWare also, so it's very big on characters, like Mass Effect 2 is very big on...
Fuck each other?
Yes, you can.
It's right here.
There's a whole bunch of that, whole bunch of, like, it's a lot of character building, it's a lot of world building. The gameplay is pretty simple, but fun. It gets a little bit more complex as you go, as you get more spells, there's different classes and stuff. The story's amazing. The game's, honestly, the first one is the first game I've ever bought DLC for, and I bought all the DLC and played it all in one sitting. Like, not one sitting, but, like, all is real quick. Like, I just played the hell out of this game. It's the first game I ever came close to platinuming, because I don't care about platinums. I have a couple platinums now, but that's a separate story. But, like, it's the first one that I was ever like, I really need to play this. I need to see every bit of this. There's so much you can miss, so much replayability. Because, like, there's, like, 3 or 4 big choices throughout the game, and you literally have to choose one or the other. And it doesn't change, like, a million things, but it does change stuff, which ones you side with. Mm-hmm. And a thing about BioWare is that'll also go into the second game and the newest game. Like, if these decisions, they change little things in each game.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to replay it. The second one, I think, is a solid C+ tier game.
I heard the issue with the second one is that it just stopped being an RPG and it stopped being more of an action hack and slash.
Yeah, that was... So a lot of people put it in F tier because they're like, this is not what I wanted, this sucks.
Yeah.
The game's still good.
That doesn't make it bad because you didn't want it.
Yeah. The game's still good, it's just not great. It's a C+ game. It does what it does, it's solid, it sets up the third game. The characters, some of the characters are really good, some of the characters are just really annoying. It's nothing special. And then the third game completely resaved the franchise. It's so good.
I
would
think people
put that...
flip-flop on that, like either it's one or the other.
it's A plus or S tier in my opinion. Like it's like that the third game.
No spin-offs, no nothing.
Just those 3 games. The 4th game recently got announced. The story in the 3rd one's really good. It does a lot of callbacks to the 1st and 2nd one with characters. If you bring your save stuff over, your main character from the 1st and 2nd game show up in the 3rd game.
It's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, and they're all different characters, so like it can kind of change parts of the landscape. The combat kind of blends the 2 first games together, and honestly, it kind of turns it almost into similar to Skyrim, but a little bit more strategy RPG, a little bit more strategy to it. But it really is a blend of the first 2 games put together. But it does it well.
Yeah,
the characters, even the characters that were decent in the 2nd game, are amazing in the 3rd game. Like all the characters get better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think because of Dragon Age 2, I can't put it S tier, even though in my opinion, Origins and Inquisition are S tier games. But that 1 C plus really puts it to. I think I would put it personally at the top of the A tier though. Like it's really close. And depending on 4, it could go to S tier if it's a good game.
So I'm gonna agree with it for now, but like because I only played 4 Dragon Quests, I don't know what the rest are like. So I mean it's up in the air, but if you feel that strongly about it, I'll leave it there.
I think Dragon Age Origins, the first game in the series, is a top 10 game of all time.
Woo! Okay, bold claim.
I would argue that to my death.
Yeah, I believe you. Final Fantasy.
B tier.
I was going to say B, because, all right, let's go through, I'm going to go through like a quick 1-sentence review of the ones I played. Dabbled in 1. It's okay, I never finished it.
Right, let's just go through. Let's each give a sentence of it, because I've played almost all of them. So.
All right, so I dabbled in 1, basic-ass RPG, but I've never really gotten far.
1's pretty good. You got to think of the time period it came out. It does some things well. It's another grindy game. It is very simple, but I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it. I played it on the Origins. I think it was the PS1 version or Game Boy Advance, one of those 2. That's how I played 2 also.
Do you know, what do you have to say about 2?
2, I think, takes everything 1 did and made it a little bit better. The story's actually kind of decent. It's kind of fun.
Nobody ever talks about 2. Like, 2 is never brought up in conversation.
I think it's because, like, it's a solid, like, B-tier type game. Like,
but we also never got it until PS1.
That's fair. I think it's a good game. It's not great. I think it's like, it does what it does well. It does what it does better than 1. But because it's not the first game, people don't care about it. And because it's not one of the best or worst games, people don't care about it. It's just kind of in the middle there, in limbo.
Yeah. 3, I have a sentimental story attaching me to it. So
throw it out there.
Okay. Well, I've told the story on streams, but for all our new people. So 3 is not that great of a Final Fantasy, especially if you play on DS. The encounter rate is wild. The difficulty spikes are stupid. The amount of places to save are not great. But I wanted to play it. So in 3, there's no like real characters. They're kind of blank slates. So I named them after me and all my friends. And my white mage's name was Tina. So we were going on a car ride to like New Hampshire or something with her family, like the second year we were dating. And I was on the last boss. I was in the last dungeon. I was like, all right, I got to grind. So I'd run through the last dungeon, get to the boss, teleport out of there, just keep redoing laps and laps and laps, right? That's how I would grind. And I kept fighting the final boss, die. Get a final boss fight, die. And we're in traffic going to New Hampshire. It's supposed to be like a 4-hour drive. Took us like 6. A horrible fucking drive. I was like, fuck, we are never finishing. And I'm like 21 at the time. So like, I'm just playing a fucking game in traffic while her parents and her are talking, like, whatever. I'm sitting here. I get to this final boss fight. I'm about to give up. I'm like, fuck this fight. It sucks. I have to grind forever. Like, let me play a different game. So I played, like, Tetris DS or something. Then I was like, you know what? I just want to finish it. So I go back. I do the final boss fight one more time. Everyone's dead. All my characters are dead except Tina. Tina's my white mage. I'm like, well, I'm fucked in this fight. Like, whatever. Let me throw an attack out. Like, whatever. Let me start again. So she hits for, like, 2 damage. Screen flashes. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I was like, I've been doing this for 6 hours. and her fucking white mage ass kills the boss. And you want to know what? Like, I don't know what this was. If it was an epiphany, traffic clears. I was like, you gotta be fucking shitting me right now. And I explained
That's
it to
amazing.
her. Yeah, and then the other reason, I was like, I guess I gotta keep her now. The other reason I gotta keep her is because the first time we ever went bowling, I said, if you don't get a strike in this frame, we're done. And it's the only strike she's ever gotten in her life. So I'm like, all right, well, fuck me. So 3,
That's funny.
I know is not a good, like, the greatest Final Fantasy. It's like a C tier.
I think it's okay. It's okay.
It's fine. 4 is really good. I love 4. 4 is like a solid B to A to me.
I would say A tier personally.
Yeah. Okay. 5, another one nobody talks about. I feel like.
It's high B, low A. It's actually surprisingly some people's favorite games, but it's a very small minority.
Yeah, I feel like it's the hipster favorite.
It is a good game though. I'd give it a shot if I were you.
I mean, I have it.
Chance.
It's in my binder over there.
Yeah, it's whenever you get a chance. It's not like the greatest game of all time, obviously, but I would give it a high B tier rating.
No, it is one of the greatest Final Fantasies of all time. 6, motherfucker. Woo!
I can't argue that. 6 is an S tier game.
Yeah. 7 is good. I think overrated, but good.
I think it's a A minus tier personally.
A minus to B. 8 I haven't played. How about you?
I personally would put 8 in S tier because it's my second favorite game of the franchise.
Anitra,
but
tell me about Squall.
She's not here right
now.
now.
Fuck.
But I also know that like it's a very like polarizing game. Some people love it, some people hate it.
It's because the
really
the leveling, right? The leveling sucks.
It's not even leveling because you could pretty much break the game within the first like 10 minutes of the game if you knew how to use the junction system right and everything. But also, if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know the junction system, which, I mean, a lot of kids couldn't figure it out. It could be one of the hardest games you've ever played because you just can't figure out how to do anything.
Okay.
So, I understand why it's such, like, a polarizing game. The story is really good but weird, and then it gets to a point where it just doesn't really make sense. But, as we'll learn later, I don't care. I like the game anyways when a game doesn't make sense.
This is all opinions, man. 9 is good. I think it's a little less.
I've not played 9.
I think it's a little less good than 6, but like I love those characters. Even the characters I hated in the beginning, I came around on. Like Quina is stupid as hell, looking like a Chef Majin Buu looking thing. Like Zidane is a transgender monkey looking thing. I love him. What's her name? Dagger is like, you're not Tifa in this game, but she's actually like kind of cool. Oh, Tifa's cool too. But I love all those characters, and the story was good. I would put 9 as an A tier. 10 is a... Oh, wait, you could say something. Oh, you didn't play 9. Never mind.
I didn't play 9.
10 is an S tier game. Like
10 is S plus tier. 10 was my favorite game of all time for many, many years.
Yeah.
Until, like, this last year and a half, new game took it over, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But Final Fantasy X is by and far the best Final Fantasy, in my opinion. I don't care what anyone says.
I mean, I'm still a 6 fan, but 10 is... Oof.
Oh, also, any of you dumb pieces of crap that say the voice acting is bad are ignorant and stupid.
Yeah.
And whoever makes fun of the laugh scene is a dumb piece of shit
Yeah,
who
that
doesn't
doesn't know the
understand
whole
character
scene.
development or what's going on.
Yeah.
I am so sick of seeing videos, YouTube videos, take it out of fucking context and say it's bad voice acting, when in actuality it's good goddamn voice acting for the moment that makes sense. They're putting on a face. I hate all of you.
Yeah, no, that scene...
I get very triggered on that. When
I mean, I'm not going to take it that level, but like if you know the scene, it's like he's doing it on purpose to make Yuna laugh. And
Yeah,
they're like,
like,
you
it's
just got to laugh at a
literally, like-
shitty spot.
Yeah, like...
I don't like those puzzles, though. The little usual floor puzzles, I don't like those. But beyond
I like them. I know you don't, but I like them.
I feel like they're so random. I can never get them to do what I want. That could have been the
But yeah,
HD
no,
issue.
that definitely triggers me very, very much so, because I'm so sick of, like, every video is
I
like,
know.
the worst voice acting, and I'm like, oh, I just want to fight them.
No, I think the voice
You're
acting
all
overall
ignorant.
was fine. Also, what was the lion dude's name?
Oh, you mean Kamari?
Kamari. He was awesome. I forgot his name for a second.
Yeah.
Auron is a
He's like one of my
badass.
least favorite characters.
I love him, though. Auron is a badass. I want to be him when I grow up.
Riku's best girl.
That is totally wrong, because the best girl is Yukiko, and she transcends all games.
I mean, okay.
All right.
We'll get to her eventually.
I know. 11, 10-2. I haven't played 10-2, have you?
I love it. I think it's one of the most underrated games in the franchise. I don't think it's an A tier game. I think it's like a B to B minus tier game.
Why do people
But
hate
I think
it?
it's because it was marketed towards girls. It was a game for girl power. You play as 3 women.
Well, fuck
but
that.
You got to think about the time it came out, and it was about like music, and there was some cheesy like dancing stuff in it, but like and like change like power or Sailor Moon changing clothes type thing. But
First
like
of all,
the Sphere
girls
Grid
don't
is
even
super.
play games, so
The Sphere Grid's actually really dope. There's a little thing I would change about it, but like overall the whole like the gameplay was good. Like I think the game is a very good game. The story was decent enough. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like spectacular. It had like really good moments, but then it had some really bad moments in the story, so like it kind of evened out.
Oh yeah, I gotta say, I was not a big fan of the Sphere Grid.
I like the Sphere Grid. It was different.
It was different. It took a lot of time to learn. I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
It stood out to me because it was different, and I like when things do different.
I'm not gonna shit on him for being different.
That's the one thing I like about Final Fantasy, especially like in the newer games, even like the bad ones. At least they're trying different things.
I mean, it's barely a series. That's the thing. It's like there's little things that connect them, but it's barely a series. You know.
There's a lot of things that connect them that are very like undertone.
Sid connects them all.
Chocobos, the whole like nature of it, the enemies, the summons, the music. There's a lot.
Oh, that was one thing I was mad about in Final Fantasy IX. It wasn't clear how you summoned things, but I didn't need them. Turns out, that was too good.
I didn't play 9, so I couldn't tell you. I never played 9. It's not because it was bad. It was because when I got into those like Final Fantasy when I was younger, 9 looked like just bad to me. It just was too cartoonish for me, and I was being all a cool. I was a cool preteen at the time,
Whoa.
so like I didn't care.
If only there was like
I
a
own it
game
now,
club
so
or
I just
something
gotta play it.
that like was playing Final Fantasy IX together. If only there was like something like that, you know? Crazy.
I mean, I own it. It's installed on my PlayStation. I just
cool.
decided to play other games instead.
Yeah, wow. Such a contributing member. All right, so
Like I'm playing. I just started Golden Sun the other day.
Oh,
the third
nice.
one.
11. How do you feel about 11? I have not played the MMO.
I never played 11's MMO, so I can't really be on it. But I heard it was actually pretty good for an MMO.
That's fair. 12. Here, I'm going to say something about 12, and this is going to trigger people. 12 is a prime example of a game nobody fucking played, and then the second it was getting a remaster, it was like, I love 12. 12 was one of my favorite Final Fantasies ever. If suddenly every fucking YouTuber I've ever watched is like, dude, 12 is great. I have so many members. It's all like nobody fucking talks about Final Fantasy 12, and neither did you. It's like when somebody gets cast as a superhero, and they're like, "Oh, I've been a big fan of Green Lantern ever since I got cast for the role." So, you know, like, fuck you. No,
That's
you don't.
fair.
Yeah.
I liked Final Fantasy 12, but I also hated it at the same time. The first time I played it, I bought it day one because I not too long before that was getting into Final Fantasy again. That's when I got big into 10.
Mm-hmm.
It was another one of those things where 12 was so different from 10, like Dragon Quest was so different from the monsters, that I was like, I'm not a big fan of this. I went back and played it later. It's a good game. I don't like some of the characters. Some of the characters are pretty bad. I would give it probably a low B tier.
Okay.
I think it's a good game, but it's not a great game. It has great aspects. I hate you. The overarching story, the main story, is actually fantastic. A lot of the little side stories leading up to it and stuff with the main characters is kind of boring. Baltier is a badass beast. Love that dude. Space pirate. Dope. Love
That's
it.
cool. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
13 can fuck itself. I hate 13.
I haven't played it. I'm going to play it eventually.
I'm going to tell you, we played it for RPG of the Quarter once. I gave it 2 hours of my life that I'm never fucking getting back. I was bored.
Yeah, but I heard all the sequels to it are actually really good.
Honestly
fix all the issues.
Maybe.
So I'm going to play through and get through 13 so I can get to the sequels because I love the franchise so much.
So a buddy of mine that's in the Game of the Month Club, he said Final Fantasy 13 gets good 10 hours in. And I said, go fuck yourself, because no game should take 10 hours to get good. Like,
I 100% agree. That's why I've never watched The Office.
Okay, no, Season 2, it's fine. So whatever.
Again, that's more than 10 hours in.
Just don't watch the first season. It's very easy. Anyway, what else was I going to say? Yeah, so I haven't played the newer ones. I'm sure they're great, but I like 13.1 was so boring. I didn't give a
that's
shit.
fair. I haven't played those yet. I want to. They're on my list of games to play.
Gotcha. 14, I played 2 hours of on PS4, and I was like, I get this game is on PS4, but it should fucking not be. Like,
It's actually not that bad now.
Yeah, I'm not into it.
I just recently streamed the entire main story quest
Oh,
with me, a friend, and another friend on. It was our Wednesday and Saturday night for a while over the summer. It's absolutely wonderful. It is a great game. It is definitely better on PC. I'm not going to say it's not, because any MMO is better with mouse and keyboard. But it's for sure 150% easily playable on PS4 now.
yeah,
They
maybe
definitely
now.
made changes. Because I know when the game first came out, it was a piece of shit mess. But
Yes.
now, it's a really good game. I would put it, if we were doing an MMO tier list, I'd put it S tier as just a game. I'm putting it A tier.
I've heard people say it's like one of the best MMOs around.
Yeah, like it was so much fun. I haven't played recently because like one of the two people lost their mother and one of the two people had a kid. So like the two people I played with are doing their own stuff right now, and I understand that.
Right.
And MMOs in general for me are more so things I want to play with friends. I'm not going to play it much by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't really touched it much recently, but I definitely will play it more again, and Nitra wants to play it. It's really fun. If you like MMOs, you'll like the game.
Deal. 15, haven't played.
15's good. I like it.
I've heard, again, flip-flop.
I'd put B plus A minus. I think it's a really good game. I haven't finished it yet, so I can't say.
So I'm
I
playing
have to finish it before I can give a final. But where I'm at right now, what I've played, is a big thing with me. I don't finish games. We all know this by now.
I want to know what the Pocket Edition is, because I keep seeing that, and I want to play it.
I literally hear, I don't know, I haven't played it, but I hear it's basically the same game in chibi form. Pretty much.
Sounds
And
fucking
dumbed
great.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a dumbed down chibi form.
Yeah. And then there's all the Final Fantasy spin-offs, like Mystic Quest, which I heard is actually good if you give it a chance.
Are we going to add like tactics and stuff into that? Because that'll bump it up to an A minus for me.
I don't know. I feel like Tactics is like when you really start getting out of the realm.
Yeah, I'm just
So,
asking.
I mean,
'cause,
should
like,
we talked about spin-offs. I mean, I've played
Tactics is one of the best strategy. If you like Fire Emblem, you like Final Fantasy Tactics.
I've heard
It's the same
that, yeah.
shit. I don't know. I'd probably keep it B plus. I guess.
Okay.
Can't go A with everything.
Yeah.
I think we could. I think we could make the argument that you could put it up to A, but like it'd be. There's so many games in the franchise. It's really hard to level it out.
Should I just do that now?
I mean, I won't argue it.
All right. Do we have to
It's
talk?
It's my number 2 favorite franchise of all time.
I'll give a quick story, and I think I've talked about this on streams before, but I knew nothing of Fire Emblem outside of Marth and Ike in Smash Brothers. And I was like, oh, it's some Nintendo game, whatever. And when I was working at GameStop, they had the little annoying TV that plays the same ads over and over. And all the clips they showed just made it look like a normal turn-based RPG. And I just got a 3DS at the time, so I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll give it a shot. I had no idea I was getting to a tactics game. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then, like, oh, dude, that game just sucked me in, man. I love Awakening. And then
I think Awakening is a very good like starter's point for a lot of people.
I think that was the first like really mass-marketed Fire Emblem, right?
Basically it was the end of the franchise. It was going to be the last game unless they were successful.
Oh.
Yeah, Awakening was about to be the last game, and the only reason it wasn't is because of how successful it was.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I will say I love the I don't know what we call it realistic, but the polygonal art.
That is the first game that added a casual mode.
Yeah. But like the little pixel art on the map too, like that was cute.
Yeah.
Fucking
Like it was gonna be. That's why they put so much into it. That's why they put so much random shit that people are like, "Why is this in here? That's never been in a Fire Emblem game before." They're like, "Well, we're going all out with our ideas because it's the last one. Might as well just go all out."
And it worked. And I know everyone says there's too many Fire Emblem characters in Smash. Let me tell you, go fuck yourself. It's a great series, and sword characters are best characters.
I mean, I'm not going to argue.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I haven't played a bad Fire Emblem. I know you don't really like the Fates ones.
Each Fates game, except for Revelations, has its own quality that makes it decent.
Yeah.
Well, they're the worst Fire Emblem games in my
But
opinion.
being the worst Fire Emblem game is like still pretty good.
Revelations, I would put in F tier, 150%.
Okay,
Revelations has bad map design, bad story, bad everything. There's nothing good about Revelations. Conquest, if you take out the story, is a good Fire Emblem designed game. Great map designs. I think the Fates I'd put in C's besides Revelations. That's an F game. You got quiet for a second. That was weird.
I was waiting for you. I was waiting for you.
Oh, sorry. It looks like you were about to say something. Other than that, I've played the remake of 1, which is Shadow Dragon.
Right.
Which is not very user-friendly. It's very...
But you played on DS.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was fine.
It's a good game. I would never recommend it for someone to start off on that game.
No. I actually would say you start at Awakening, work backwards, and then forward. Like, use Awakening as your starting point.
Yeah, I think Awakening's a great starting point. I would say Three Houses, but it is kind of overwhelming. But at the same time, it doesn't have to be because they do like show you stuff very like in the easiest way, and you can automate everything.
Yep.
So,
I actually heard Three Houses was going to be a lot longer than it was, so I was like really intimidated to start it, and then it flew by.
you didn't do what a lot of people who are like. So a lot of people who are obsessed with Fire Emblem are big like completionist, do everything people.
Not me.
And yeah, so like they're gonna go through and fish every fucking time. They're gonna go through and do stuff every time. You didn't do that, which is fine. Like play your games how you want to play your games. But that's why it went a little bit quicker for you.
Yeah, I'm not a big side questy guy, especially if I feel like something's really wasting my time.
Yeah,
I'm just not gonna do it.
And there's a lot of busy work in Three Houses.
There is. I honestly, the only issue I had with Three Houses is I didn't really like being a teacher, but it played into the story, so it
made sense for the story. Yeah. So like,
but once
I like they used that.
Yeah,
I like how they used that where you could like build like your characters how you wanted because it is the most open sandbox game.
Right, and it was fine, and I should go back and play it 2 more times. But why bother with?
Don't push yourself.
Why Dimitri's best boy? So there.
Dimitri is awesome.
Exactly. Edelgard's I was gonna say a slut. That's not fair. She's a cunt. That's much better.
That's better.
Yeah.
I guess at least cunt is better than slut because at least you're not like shaming people who like sex. So that's fine.
Oh god, no. You like
sex is great.
You like doing the thing everyone else does, but we all keep it real personal for some reason. Don't understand.
But just kind of quickly go through the ones I played. I played the 2 remake, Shadows of Valencia. Great game.
Play that too.
It's very different from a lot of the other Fire Emblems, but I think you'll like it. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I played halfway through 4. We're hoping for that 4 remake soon.
Which one is 4 again? Oh yeah,
the Genealogy.
Oh, Genealogy. Sorry.
5 is Thracia.
Shadows of Valencia was Gaiden.
Gaiden 2. Yep, it was
Gaiden
2's remake.
2.
No, it was Fire Emblem 2, which is Gaiden. It's remake.
I'm like petting you with the hands on my screen. You'll see later in the video because the way the way the image flips, the hands are like this, and it's just like ooh, petting Aaron's face. Ooh,
that's weird. I don't like it.
I did it by accident. Go on.
I didn't play 5. I'm actually going to be starting tomorrow with 6 as Iron Man. I'm going to stream it. Blind Iron Man. It's going to be Anitra's Tuesdays. We're going to be doing Fire Emblem 6. Yeah.
Are you actually going to start streaming again, or are you just lying to us like always?
I've streamed a couple times in the last 2 weeks.
I don't believe you.
I'm streaming about like twice a week right now because of school. So.
Wow, Aaron's not an adult.
I was supposed to stream yesterday, but like.
Yeah, that's what happens. So Fire Emblem's pretty much my favorite tactic series. Ironically, as a side note, I don't like Advance Wars, which is made by the same people. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't work for me.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think it's like I'm just not good at like how do I stop them from making units and making so much money while I'm not. But Fire Emblem, it's like this is what you get. Fucking make it work, bro.
I get that. I have a lot of trouble with Advance Wars because I'm such in a like one character like Fire Emblem and Final Fantasy Tactics mindset where like I can't make more units.
Yeah.
So like I get into this mindset like, oh, I have what I need, go, and then it's like, oh wait, why do they have so much bigger armor than me? Oh, Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I fucked up.
And I have to give Fire Emblem credit for opening like Valkyria Chronicles to me, Jeanne d'Arc
Such a
on
good
PSP,
game.
Field
I
Commander
haven't
on
played that
PSP. So
Yeah.
much good stuff.
I'm glad you accidentally got into Fire Emblem, so you actually start playing like tactical RPGs and stuff because
Yeah,
they're so fun.
complete accident and best accident ever. Golden Sun. I can only
S tier.
Okay, well, I can only speak for one of them, and I liked it. I fucked up on the magic, and I understand it's my fault. So I can't be too mad at it, but, like, I don't know, this is more Aaron's bag here, so.
I just restarted the third one again recently. By recently, I mean yesterday.
Oh.
Because I haven't played it in forever, and I don't remember anything about it except for the fact that you play as the children of the first one. It's really fun. The series does the same thing all through. Like all three games are basically like the same, like gameplay and stuff wise, with little changes here and there, like making them a little bit better. But they don't have a bad game. All three games are great. I love all of them. I want a fourth game. It needs to come, please and thank you. I would put this S tier. Granted, I think all three games are S tier personally, so
All of them?
I think so.
Wow, that's kind of aggressive, is it not?
A+ to S- tier for me for all three games.
I feel like that's a lot, though.
That's because Golden Sun sets the bar and it never dips below that.
Okay, sure. I'm trying to make a note of something, but
Oh, sorry.
No,
sorry
no,
to
no.
make a note. What did I do?
No, I did it. Aaron, kill time for like 1 second while I make a note.
I'm killing time.
No, kill time. Talk more about Golden Sun.
Sorry.
Why
I don't
is
have
it?
much to talk about.
Why isn't Isaac in
it's like,
Smash?
True, please. But no, the game's great. It's like Pokemon meets Final Fantasy.
How is it like Pokemon?
You collect the Jin and you can summon them and use them, and I don't know. But it's a little different but you still catch them. Sometimes you have to fight them. You have to solve puzzles to get them.
I actually would like a full tutorial on the magic system.
I mean, I can literally teach you in like 10 minutes tops how to do it.
Fucking do it, because like I fucked up and I don't understand why.
It's really easy. Actually, I think you should play the third game because I noticed as I was trading the Jin, it shows you. So basically, the reason you change different magics is because you change classes as you change the Jin,
Okay.
and so
I
you
know
learn
that.
different magics based off of that. It really talks about it more in 3, like really breaks it down the best way. I think if you play the third one's tutorial, like the beginning of it, you'll understand the magic for all 3 because it's the same for all 3, but I think it explains it the best in this one. Because I just went through it yesterday and I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't even know it was changing classes until that.
Okay.
It literally tells you in this one, as you're trading the Jin, what magic you'll gain and lose and stuff, what your stat boosts and losses are.
So like it did that in the first one, but like it wasn't very clear. Once I now know, I'm like, oh, that's stupid.
Basically, yeah. So it just changes your classes. You learn different magic. Your stats change because of it. But even if like, so say I don't know, Isaac has 2 Venus and 1 Mars Jin.
Right.
The Mars will give him Fireball or whatever. But then you're so mean.
Sex.
Then if you set the Mars Jin, like either by using its attack or just changing it in the menu, he's still on Isaac, but like he doesn't affect his class anymore. So he'll go back to having his magic original. It's really not. If you just sit and listen to it real quick, just look at it. It makes sense. It's easier if I could show you a visual.
I know, that's the thing.
Like,
You were saying that when I was playing it too.
Like, so once they set it, it goes back to as if he wasn't attacked. So if he has 2 Venus and a Mars, and the Venus is the Earth one, Mars is fire, he'll have like the Mars abilities, and it might get rid of 1 or 2 of his Venus abilities. But if you set the Mars, it's almost as if he only has 2 Venus in his party now, and that's how you get them ready to also summon. So now that Mars one's ready to be a summon.
I do need a visual. But all right, Golden Sun S tier. I believe you.
Yeah, it doesn't get any worse.
Killzone.
I have no reference on Killzone. Never played a single. I did play a single one. I played the one that came out.
I lost Aaron. Aaron's dead. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to fill the time. Aaron, we've lost you. It was a great time.
I hear you.
Okay, there you are.
I hear you.
I had to fill the time. You said you played the one that came and then died.
I sat there saying I hear you the whole time.
Yeah, well, I didn't hear that. So.
Oh, well, I played the one that came with the PS4 and I hated it.
Okay,
but I only played a little bit of it.
In defense of the one that came out with PS4,
I don't know if it's good or bad. I also am not big into like shooters and stuff. Honestly, it's one of my least favorite genres. So it's not a fair thing for me to say it's bad. I'm not gonna say it's bad. Yeah. I just didn't like it.
Okay, so in defense of the one that came out on PS4, is it a very pretty tech demo? Absolutely, and that is fine. But as a game, it's like a solid B. Like the story actually gets pretty good later on. There's a big old like betrayal plot. And it's really pretty. I love the multiplayer in Killzone because it has this cool thing, at least in 2 and 3, called Warzone, where every 5 minutes the objective changes. So 5 minutes a deathmatch. Then the next one is like hunt a certain character. Then the next one is like search and destroy. Then capture the flag. Like it made the online really interesting. All those games are like technical masterpieces. Like 2 was good, 3 was amazing. The melee kills are great. Are they kind of generic war stories? Yeah, not gonna lie. I do think a lot of the appeal comes from like I think the Hellgas, which are the bad guys. I really think they are the coolest looking enemies in any game. Like a little historical reference. That on propaganda posters is what they made the Nazis look like in World War II. So like, yeah, that's what it's based off of. I mean, they're very Nazi-like. Instead of doing like the Nazi salute, they do it backwards. I'm like, haha, I get it. But like 2 and 3 are more like the only ones that are really connected. Like 3 just jumps right after 2 ends. And then it brought split screen campaign. Honestly, they're just really solid shooters. I'm not going to act like they are the highest of
basically what you're saying is the games are all good. None of them are like spectacular great, but none of them are bad.
They're solid Bs. And I admit that, but the thing is like their charm to me, like
it's fine, dude.
Like as a personal, I'd put it as S, my favorite first-person shooters. But on a critical level, I know there's better ones out there. So like I'm gonna leave it in B, and I'm totally okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah, B is fine for my favorite first-person shooter series. I don't know what that says about me, but there's that. Oh, and the one in PS2. Actually, you know what brings it down? I forgot to say this. The one in PS2 is god awful. Maybe it's because it's aged, but there was a point where me and my buddy were playing it, and we couldn't get past one level till the game literally glitched out on us, and all the enemies were frozen in place. We were like, "Well, fucking okay,
works for us."
Yeah, it's just it didn't age well. So yeah, B because 2 is like a A, 3 is like an S, the PS4 one is like a B, and then the first one's like a C. Wow, they're all
low B.
I would put it below Final Fantasy. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Right here. Oh. Kingdom Hearts. Fuck it. I hate it.
Oh, I'm expecting you to rant. Go on. Go over your feelings on Kingdom Hearts.
I'm going to try not to rant my best I can because I played the first Kingdom Hearts because all my friends talked about it. And it was like, oh, Disney cross Final Fantasy. I'm not a big Disney guy. I find more Disney stuff corny than enjoyable. But I was like, all right, everyone talks about Kingdom Hearts, let me try it. I played that game, and I could not tell you what the fuck the story was. All I knew was I heard the word heartless, friendship, magic, and then, like, all of a sudden, like, I'd be in, like, Traverse Town, I think it is, and then I'd go to a Disney area, and you do this, like, Disney side story that seemed like it almost had no connection to the main plot, and then you'd get out of it, and it'd be like, did anyone remember we were just in Tarzan World? All right, cool, whatever. And then, like, it just seemed like everything was so disconnected, and then trying to tie it up at the end of each little section, but it just made no sense. The Final Fantasy characters seemed like window dressing, like they were barely irrelevant.
That's all they are.
Yeah, and I didn't like that. I was expecting more Final Fantasy-ness. I don't like the combat. It feels very loose and floaty.
I'm going to disagree. I think the gameplay for me is what makes me love the series so much.
That's fine. I
will say the first one is the weakest, but it's still really good. And there's actually more strategy to it than you would think, as you can like fire
the magic. Yeah.
Yeah, like and map it to different things and stuff. And there's a lot to it that you don't 100% need to do on the normal difficulty because you don't. But like,
right.
as you play harder difficulties. There's a lot of strategy to it.
Yeah, and maybe that's fine. Maybe I don't get it. I understand. I'm kind of an idiot. But
You also don't like Disney. I think one of the biggest appeals of this franchise are the people. So, like, you and I grew up around the same time, but you're not a big Disney person. I am. And I think people from, like, our generation who grew up with Disney, that enjoy Disney, that really like Disney, are going to like this game because we grew up with a lot of the movies that are in this game.
Yeah, and that's fine. I knew what the movies were, but it just felt so disconnected. Like, I'd go into, like I said, Tarzan or whatever world, and it just seemed like we were there, we did a little side thing, and it had, like, no relevance to what we were doing. Like, it just seemed like it was like...
It did,
but it was badly explained.
It was very, like, loosely tied through it, but it was to run through every Disney movie, and I think part of your off-putting, again, is the fact that, like, you wanted more Final Fantasy and less Disney, and you don't like Disney. Like, it's not your thing.
I mean, yeah, in a bit, but, like, it was marketed like Final Fantasy cross Disney, and I was like, okay, let's fucking go. And I don't even care. I respect Disney. It's just, like, I'm not going to obsess about it. And just that story makes no sense. I played 2 of these games, and they make no sense.
It makes sense. It's just not a good story.
Okay, that's not better, I guess. Sure.
Yeah, like, it makes sense. It's just not a good story. I think you got too wound up in all the different Disney stories that don't matter, and you didn't pay attention to the main plot, and that happened to a lot of people I know, so they didn't realize what the main story was.
Yeah, maybe.
And there's a very, like, convoluted thing between Xehanort and Ansem that's kind of dumb and annoying, so...
I can't tell what's a heartless, what's a nothingness, what's a, like, I don't know what the difference is.
Every one of the dark creatures that had, like, black bodies are heartless.
Okay.
And all the ones in the second one that were, like, the gray things are nobodies. Which I find hilarious, because what a heartless is it's just a corrupted heart. And then what a nobody is the empty shell left over from a corrupted heart. So a nobody is only a body, and a heartless is only a heart, and I find that absolutely hilarious.
You saying that and explaining it to me makes it sound worse. Look, I just don't get Kingdom Hearts. I tried 2 games. I gave it my best effort. I even played the second one with a friend of mine who, like, understood it. He was into it, and I was like, I don't see it. I sat through the whole game, and I was like, I did eventually hand him the controller and be like, I just can't. Like, it's not.
I would put it B-, personally, if I'm being completely critically honest. There's issues with the games. The games are still really good, though. They're really good gameplay, even though you don't like it. Each game gets better at gameplay. If we add all the spin-offs, there's different style games. Like, I know some people didn't like the card version game. I don't even remember if it was, like, Game Boy Advance or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that game. I played that game all the time. The story was pretty solid. You had this cool Riku mode where you could play as Riku that I loved.
I guess
I don't know.
The main issue I have is that everyone says, like, you got to play the spin-offs to understand the story, but I feel like that's the opposite of a point of a spin-off.
So I think part of the reason that is because Nintendo and them didn't want to keep doing stuff with the franchise, like, on the main systems for whatever reason. So instead of making Kingdom Hearts 3 when they wanted to put it on, like, a main system and broaden it, they would just keep making spin-offs that kind of advance the plot. You don't need them. Like, they will... So the story will make 100% more sense if you play them. They add to the story, but if you just play 1, 2, and 3, you will get the gist of the story.
I guess. I don't know.
But the spin-offs are still... I still think I actually personally like some of the spin-offs better than the main games. And I think that's a problem. I think your main games should be your best games.
Yeah.
But that's why I personally would put it B-. I think Kingdom Hearts 1 was a cool idea that had decent gameplay that got better as it went on in 2 and 3. The spin-offs... I think a couple of the spin-offs are like A-tier games. I don't know. I'd put it B-. Bottom B.
Okay. B- it is. I'll agree with you because you understand it more than I do. So.
I don't think it's as good as everyone says. I know there's people that love it because of the emotional connection with Disney, Final Fantasy that's in a couple of it. But, no.
Oh, fucking Tina moved something upstairs and it just sounded like a saw blade going at the floor.
That's kind of funny.
The fuck was that? It scared me. Alright, yeah, let's, this is all you.
A tier. Probably. Do you put Dragon Quest A or A plus?
A.
Then I'd put it between Dragon Quest and Dragon Age.
Okay. I do want to say a little piece before you go off on it.
Go ahead.
I tried Knights of the Old Republic. I don't fucking get it.
The gameplay doesn't hold up. I get it. The gameplay.
That's fine. I didn't know where the fuck to go.
It explains it if you pay attention to the story. It does tell you where to go, but it gives you a little. It was kind of like partially open world before other things were open world. It gave you the illusion of open world that wasn't open world, if that makes sense. Like there was different places you could go, but you wound up having to go to all of them. So like you just got to choose the order. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, the first one, S+ tier game, one of the biggest twists in all video gaming history. I think it could potentially be a top 10 to top 20 game of all time.
Okay, that's fair. I heard it came out on iPad, and I bet it would actually play better on iPads.
I had it on my Android phone. I don't have an Android phone anymore, so I don't have it anymore. But with what I played, it was way easier to play on phone.
Yeah, I feel like it's like one of the rare exceptions where like it would be better as a mobile game.
I will say, unless you played this back then and you really had a feel for it, even now I sometimes have trouble with the combat because it's just like it's very old school Dungeons and Dragons combat. And it doesn't explain a lot, so like it's very confusing at times. I get that, but the game with the story alone, and it was one of the like first, maybe only Star Wars games that you could choose light or dark side, force, and go both back and forth. It actually did have a romance option too, so you want to put it in this tier.
Alright, let me put that in this tier real quick.
Again, it's early BioWare, so the characters are amazing. That's why the story is so good. Everything's just put it here. The story is absolutely absolutely wonderful. The second game is really, really good. I would put it in high B to low A. It would be better if they finished the game.
Oh, it's one of those.
So this was kind of when EA started taking over in BioWare. So they wound up getting timelines, and there's parts of the game that are actually in the coding that like modders have taken out and shown how good it could have been, but they weren't able to finish it because EA being EA pushed it out. The game is still really good. It still has some of the best parts of the first one brought in. The characters are great. Has some carryover from the first one, but it could have been better. It probably could have been S tier if they were given the time that they were expecting to have and wanted carryover.
They said there was some karaoke from the first game. I was like, what?
It was a carryover from the first one.
Hell fucking yeah, bro. Star Wars karaoke?
Hell yeah.
Play that same song again. Okay, no problem.
I love that.
Those family episodes were on point.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would if they finished that, like if they had the time to finish that, it probably would have been an S tier game also. But because EA being EA, it's the same reason Dragon Age 2 probably wasn't as good. Granted, they changed everything up, but that's besides the point. Just EA being EA.
All right.
I would put it right there.
Okay. Mario. I know you don't like Mario.
It's not that I don't like Mario. I just think it's overrated. But I understand it also like pioneered a whole generation of stuff. So at the same time, it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, most of the games are good. I'll say the earlier years of Mario have been better than the later. Like, I hate the new Super Mario Brothers look. It looks very cheap and Chinese and plasticky.
Odyssey's dope, though.
Odyssey's dope. Yeah, but like the new look, I'm like, I don't like that. I mean, Mario's fucking good, man. There's you have a couple of hiccups. Like Mario 2, look, I get it. Some people think it's the greatest Mario, and I think it's one of the worst. I get it's Doki Doki Panic. Shut up. We all have been on the internet before. I like 64, and 64's, on the 64. So.
And I know how you feel about N64, so if you like that game, it must be something.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I haven't played Sunshine. Galaxy was fun. I mean, most of the Mario games are good. Even we could talk spin-offs all day with Mario. He's kind of just a placeholder. But look, I have more fun with Mario than less fun. But that being said, it is just a basic platformer at the end of the day. So I would put it...
But it was a platformer that pioneered platformers in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and I get that. I would put it right here.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have been completely okay with it being A tier, personally.
I wouldn't...
I think
because
it has that much of cultural significance, all the different games. Plus, like you said, all the spin-offs, like Mario Rabbids being a... Fire Emblem type game. You have Mario RPG, which is literally Square Enix made or Square made, whatever. Final Fantasy, it spans so many genres. Then you got to also include Mario Kart, one of the best racing games of most people. Then you got Mario Party. I wouldn't even be mad if you put it in S tier because of all the spin-offs. It has one of the most successful party games, one of the most successful racing games. It has a good RPG. It has good tactics.
I'd put it at the end of S tier.
That's fine.
Oh,
I was just trying to be like Smash Brothers, which is technically a Mario spin-off in my opinion.
I mean, I guess it's like a Nintendo spin-off. I mean, I wasn't really thinking about the spin-offs. I was just thinking more just straight platforms. So if you called
if you were doing just the platformers, I'd agree B.
I guess if I'm calling
B to low A.
He's just so versatile.
I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, I guess you know what? I'd put him at the end of S tier. His highs are high.
That's me, someone who's not the biggest Mario fan.
Yeah, his highs are high and the lows are low. That's the only thing with Mario. Why you gotta eat on every fucking podcast we do? God damn it.
Because we always do it at a time that dinner gets cooked, so then I just gotta eat.
God damn it, Aaron. Fucking guys, I try to make this the most professional podcast in the goddamn world.
The most professional. That's why he put freaking background videos during our last podcast.
I cut out...
While we were talking.
So, just so you know, Patreon exclusive... I know what the issue was. The problem was the desktop audio was off, but because it was coming through my headphones, that audio was on, which is also what you were coming through. So even though I muted the video itself, the source was not muted. So I was like, fuck. So pretty much we skipped talking over the cart, the Battle Royale, and something else of Mario, but we didn't say too much.
Oh, so you cut stuff out? Okay. I didn't listen to that part yet. So.
Oh, good. Don't worry about it. It came out good. Mass Effect.
S tier.
Okay, I've only
no. I'll put A minus or A plus. Ahead of Dragon Age.
Okay. Wow. I've only played 2, and let me tell you one thing I know about 2 is that Yvonne Strahovski plays a great Miranda.
Yvonne Strahovski plays a great whatever she wants to play.
Whoa. Yeah.
But so my complaints with the Mass Effect series. First, I'm just gonna say Mass Effect trilogy, greatest trilogy in all of gaming. Fight me. Mass Effect 1, it's kind of gets repetitive and grindy, and it can have some boring moments, but it has the best one-game story of all three.
Ooh.
The second one took out some of the RPG elements of the first one, but I think the second one, in my opinion, is the best overall game in the trilogy. Mass Effect 3 was absolutely amazing. It took a lot of the best parts of the first two, brought it together, has the best gameplay of all the three of them. I haven't gotten to Andromeda yet. And all that stuff.
After all the shit you talk on other people?
It's a weak game. I've been over this.
Okay.
But I'll go over it again. Remember, I said S tier, and then I remembered Andromeda existed. Okay. And 3 is the best game until the ending, which is weak, which I still think is another thing people blow out of proportion. It's not as good as they wanted. Nobody's going to be happy with that ending. Nobody would be happy with any ending they do because just how big the trilogy was built up. Endings are hard to do to please everyone.
They are.
But it was a weak ending. It could have been better with that being said.
Wasn't the ending just like a different color laser going off?
There was other pieces to it that people didn't pay attention to because they were really mad about it, but it was kind of like that, yeah.
Okay.
I will say it could have been better. But even with that, Mass Effect 3 is a really good game, and also, in my opinion, S tier. Like, I would probably have it Mass Effect 1 being A+, only not S tier because it can get boring at times, like, with some of the exploration that, like, you don't need to do some of it, though, so that's kind of what keeps it up there, is, like, some of the boring stuff you don't really need to do. Mass Effect 2, best game, S tier, like, S+.
Yeah, I heard that was actually the deep one.
Yeah, Mass Effect 3, I would put S- because of the ending, or else if the ending wasn't that bad, I think I would have put it ahead of Mass Effect 2. Personally, the ending's what knocks it down because the gameplay's better. The story is like a bigger scope instead of just being like a self-contained story. Like you have to kill the collectors. You're literally having to save the entire galaxy from the Reapers at this point. This is like all the other games coming to the end here. This is the big build-up, and like the way they did it with some of the online stuff at the time and building your war assets, really amazing. The whole thing was great. The story throughout that was great. The characters were great. They just dropped the ball in the ending. So I would have put it like, I would have put it like triple S tier if it wasn't for the ending. But it gets dropped to A+ because Andromeda, though I defend Andromeda to the death because of everything they went through and everything going on. Like we said with Assassin's Creed, the game was broken when it was released. Which you can't excuse that, even with all, like, I excuse it personally, but at the same time, you can't because you can't release a broken game. But we understand what they went through at this point to get it. So, like, two sides of the same coin. But you got to take points off for that. And though there's a decent story, decent character building, it's not Mass Effect level. It's not BioWare level of that.
No, it's like BioWare Light. Didn't the B Studio do that?
Maybe, I don't remember.
I think they did.
All I know is the game's a solid game. It's a solid, like, C+, B- game. But people hate it because when you hear Mass Effect, you don't think C+, B-. You think A+ S tier.
Right.
So because it's C+, B- with Mass Effect on it, people automatically assume F because it's so much worse than what's already out there. If that makes sense.
No, I get that.
So, like, I put this at, like, C+, B-, and that knocks it down to A for me.
Alright.
Mass Effect was the second game behind Dragon Age Origins that I went out and bought all the DLC. I've played every game in the trilogy at least 2 times. I played Mass Effect 2 4 times all the way through. Mass Effect 1's the only one I played twice, and then I played Mass Effect 3 times. Like, the games are that good, and they hold up, dude.
I believe you.
I love it.
I don't know. I don't know enough. Mega Man. I would like to emphasize something about Mega Man.
Never played it.
Okay, so this is
actually I played one and I hated it, but I don't remember which one it was, but I was told it was one of the bad ones.
The normal series or the X series?
I don't remember. It was on like Game Boy Advance, I think, or Game Boy Color.
Okay, yeah, those are all bad.
It was handheld.
Those are all bad. So here's the deal. I'm going with just the classic Mega Man series because I have an issue with the X series, and that is X1 is the peak of the X series, and then it's just bad from there. Mega Man Classic series. Look, I've played the first 6, and then I've played 11. Mega Man 1 is like a C. It's not good. It's cheap. They do a lot of bullshit stuff. You have to backtrack when you're at the final stages because lull. Badly designed game. They learned from their mistakes at Mega Man 2. Mega Man 2 is like platforming perfection. Like,
is that the one we were watching the dude play today?
Yes. That one is the best Mega Man. The Metal Blade is overpowered. I get that, but honestly it makes that game really fun. Like, it's the only thing that lets you shoot in 8 directions. So it's kind of a blessing to have. 3 is just as good as 2. You could almost say they're the same in quality. 4 is like a B. So we went from like C, S, S, B. 5 is like a C, and then 6 is like an A. So like, and then 11 is like an A as well. I only hated one stage in 11. And then they add some new stuff to kind of make the game a little more accessible. But man, Mega Man's fucking good. Fuck, dude, I love Mega Man. He's like, look at that little cute ass robot face. It's great.
I don't hate him. I just, like I said, I played one and I didn't like it, so I never played another one.
If you
I have to play one of the ones. There's a couple that you and someone else who likes Mega Man a lot.
I would tell you to play Mega Man 2. That's
So,
the best 8-bit one.
I'll
9
have to do that.
9 and 10 are like 8-bit, but they're like newer games.
Yeah.
So take that for what you will. But they're really solid platformers. They're difficult, but beyond the first one, they're rewarding for being difficult.
That's fun.
So I would recommend those. They're so fun, man. People say shit on Dark Souls for being a hard game. It's not that, because that's the lamest excuse anyone has for justifying Dark Souls fandom.
I don't like hardness.
Yeah, but I love Mega Man games. Everyone seems to forget that. They're so fucking good. And then I like at the end of the game, like, you do the 8 Robot Master, you're like, oh, I've done it. And that's only the beginning. Now you got to go through the Wily Castle. Now you got to defeat those robots again with all the powers you've equipped. Learning, like, what weapon attacks what enemy in the right order. I mean, could you look it up? Yeah, I guess. If you want to be that person, I will. It's just really fun. Like, and it's just really fucking good. Even if it's the same.
So is that where you're putting it, or are you putting it somewhere else?
I'm putting it at A because I understand, like, it hasn't been a smooth ride the whole time.
So there's some great games, some bad games, some in-between games.
Well, no, so
but it's a
that's the
good
thing.
series.
Even the worst game, which I'd say Mega Man 1, isn't bad. It's cheap as shit, but it's like a C. But, like, that one, they learn from their mistakes beyond that. The only reason I dropped 5 down is because you can kind of tell at 5 on the NES, they were like, okay, like, we're running out of ideas. And it kind of felt like they just did it. And then 6, Nintendo published, not Capcom. So that one worked out. And then 7, I haven't played 7 yet. I heard 7's a little meh. But from what I've played, I would put it right there.
Okay. I'm not going to argue. I haven't played enough to answer.
Yeah, I think Mega Man's a little better than Assassin's Creed. But, like, me. A little bit. Here we are, Mortal Kombat.
So for me, I'll talk first because I know this is yours, so you'll have more to say.
Okay.
I love Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat's great. It kind of revolutionized gaming. It kind of also did some bad things to gaming with other people, but that's not Mortal Kombat's fault. They just put out a good game.
Bad things to other people? What?
Like, because of other people. The whole gaming's bad because of Mortal Kombat. The whole bringing the ESRB ratings and stuff. That was all Mortal Kombat. So, like, it was it was revolutionary in multiple ways, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not, like, putting points away from it because of that. I'm just bringing it up. Like, it's
fun.
Part of the game. It's part of the franchise.
I think we needed that to happen, though, personally.
Yeah, oh no, for sure. Well, not the people saying that all gaming's bad because this one game has a lot of blood. But,
no, that's just dumb parents, but, whatever.
Yeah. Personally, I'd put it high B. I'm not a big fighting game person, though. There's very few fighting games that I'm like, ooh, my jollies are kicked playing this one.
My jollies are kicked.
I was trying to say something stupid.
No, you did a great job at that, don't you worry.
Thank you. But, like, there's no fighting game that I get super excited. For me, it's not the best fighting game series. My favorite fighting game series is Tekken.
Oh, shit! That's what I should have put on here. Fuck! It's too late. I already made the thing.
Instead of what? What would you put it on instead of?
I probably would have put it here instead of Mortal Kombat.
I mean, we could just pretend it's Tekken then.
No.
Okay. Because Tekken, I'd put A tier.
Yeah, I was just.
But Mortal Kombat, I'd put like B plus probably. Like, it's great. There's some really high highs, some really bad games.
Yeah. Yes, you are right, and the reason I would put it at the end of B is
the end of B. Okay, that's fine.
I'd put it at the end of B because like Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3, solid games, revolutionary. They did the digitized graphic thing. They're great. I will say playing them one player, especially at home, are stupid cheap. Like the AI in those games are arcade fucking difficult.
Dude, I know. I was watching my friend Chris, who is like my insight into a lot of retro gaming because he loves those. He was playing. I don't remember. I think it was one of the older ones. And literally, he would do like a high kick, and it would be halfway through the animation. No way anyone would be able to duck in time if you were a real person, and the fucking AI would just duck. Uppercut.
Yep.
Like he'd have to do cheap ass combos to be able to do anything to the computer.
Yeah. The AI in the older Mortal Kombat is really cheap. So I actually don't like playing them now unless I'm playing with a friend. But nobody will play fighting games with me anymore. And then like after 3, Mortal Kombat took a dump. Like, they started getting 3D, which I understand because all the 3D's coming out. Like, everyone get the 3D train. And they're charming. Like, Armageddon, you started using, like, weapons.
I kind of liked Armageddon. Armageddon was fun. I enjoyed that one.
It was fine. Then you had, Deadly Alliance was the other one. Like, all right, a little more of the same.
I wasn't a fan of that one.
Yeah, and there was one more I can't remember. Shaolin Monks is a cool little spin-off. But beyond that, like, Mortal Kombat took a break. And I was like, then 9 came out. The reboot on 360 and PS3. That game was fucking tight, man. That game really made me fall back in love with Mortal Kombat. It kind of rebooted the story, if you care about Mortal Kombat more. It was back to 2D. The fatalities were brutal. They brought in X-rays. And, like, the thing is, like, the older games, doing any special moves was, like, 45 button presses. This one was like, hey, 2. Direction, button. Like, so it was super accessible. It gave you more time to do fatalities because that's the best part of Mortal Kombat. The older games, you had 2 seconds to put in, like, 4 button combos.
38 buttons.
Yeah, you were fucked up. This one gave you, like, a window, like, here, do it. So it made it accessible, and I was like, all right, this is what I want out of Mortal Kombat. Then 10 came along. Well, actually, no. So, actually, this is the other thing I hate about the new Mortal Kombats, or should I put it B? Fighting games love to dick people over now, where, like, you're not buying the full game. I knew the second Mortal Kombat 10 got announced. I was like, they're calling it X instead of 10. I was like, I guarantee there's going to be something called, like, Mortal Kombat XL, and it's going to be the Game of the Year edition. And so I didn't buy it for a long time. And lo and behold, there was a Mortal Kombat XL, and I was like, call that one. They're already at number 40. Crazy. Roman numeral joke. So, like, I wait now, because I'm like, I know there's going to be a better version of a fighting game now. And I think Mortal Kombat was the first one that really did that. So I waited, and that really sucks, because I want to play Mortal Kombat 11. But I saw it, I was like, that roster's kind of small. There's going to be Mortal Kombat 11 Game of the Year. Now there's Aftermath, and I was like, oh, it's done. And then I heard there's another expansion coming. I don't know how true that is. But, like, so what the fuck am I going to buy it for? Like,
we got 11 because Anitra loves the Mortal Kombat games.
Yeah, I do like them, but I'm just like...
Again, I'm not a big fighting person. Like, it's not my...
Kano
not my shtick.
I'm just going to show you. Hold on. I want you to see if... maybe you've seen it already, but... Who does Kano look like in Mortal Kombat 11? Who does that look like?
Am I supposed to say Cyborg?
No, who does...
Because it's really blurry, so I can't really tell.
Oh, fucking dick. Okay. Allow me. Chest hair. Who does that look like?
Dude, it's blurry for me. I
can't
tell.
Serious?
Just tell me. Yeah.
Alright, Google Kano Mortal Kombat 11 for me, because you're a wrestler.
Just tell me. We don't have enough time.
It looks like Austin Aries.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
I'll have to look.
Yeah, anyway. So Mortal Kombat is a good fighting game series. It took a dump in the middle of its life, and then, as much as I love what it brought back, I don't like that it started the whole DLC fighter thing.
That's fair.
Alright, Persona.
I'd put it number 1, personally.
Number 1 above Fire Emblem.
Yep.
I've only played 4 and 5, so I'll take your word on it. But I've loved
5 is my number 1 favorite game of all time. 4 is a top 5 favorite game of all time for me. I haven't played Fez yet, like 3 Fez, but I've played Portable, which is a dumbed down version, not as good as Fez, except for you get to control your allies, which is the one annoying thing about 3 that pisses me off.
Oh, you can't?
No, you give them only in Portable. Only in Portable can you control everyone.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah. So that's why I played Portable first, but I like the game enough that I'm going to play it. I did hear that the AI is decently smart, and you can lead them, like you can tell them what to do, basically, but not like direct exact things.
I hate when RPGs do that. Like,
I do too, but like the game is still really good. The story is amazing. The characters are great.
So if I
you also have to put this up here because your favorite best girl is in the series.
That's
so
true. But I will say one thing I almost never played a Persona game because 4's beginning takes so fucking long. I get it's important, but
they're all like that except for 5, and it's so annoying.
I know, but like that's the thing. I almost never played a Persona because if I didn't have one of my friends who was there, I don't talk to him too much anymore, and it kind of makes me sad. But anyway, he was the one that was telling me, like, hey, keep fucking going. I was like, dude, this is boring. It's a great movie. He's like, keep going. And then it became one of my favorite RPGs of all time. But, like, man, is that not welcoming.
Yeah. That's one thing they finally fixed in 5, I think, is the way 5 opens is you get a really cool, quick snippet of the gameplay and combat, and then it does the opening movie of a billion things to get you back into the game. But at least they give you that piece of gameplay so you know what it's going to be when you get into it.
Right. And
whereas the other ones don't really do that.
So you tell me if I start 3, I can only control my main character?
Yeah. Like in battle, yeah. Unless you play portable.
I'm not doing that. Alright, so...
I hate it too, but it's still a good game. Like, it's still an S-tier game. Like, the game is that good. Okay. Even portable, where you get less cutscenes, you get less of the cool stuff, is an S-tier game, in my opinion.
Okay. I believe you.
You froze, which means you can't hear me.
No, I can hear you.
Just wait till you're unfrozen, so you can hear me again.
I can hear you.
Oh, you could hear me the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. You froze on my screen.
Cool.
One of the 2s, you get to fight Hitler, so that's cool.
Well, yeah, there's multiple 2s. That's confusing.
There's 2 different 2s. The annoying thing is, so
do I need
one came out? You don't need to play any of them. They're the forgotten stepchildren of Atlas. Okay. I'm playing them because I want to play all the Personas because it's my #1 favorite series of all time now. Mm-hmm. But like, so the 2s are weird because one of them got released in America forever ago, and then it got a remaster or a remake or whatever
on PSP.
That didn't come out in America.
Cool.
And then the other one didn't come out in America, and then got a remake and came out on the PSP in America.
That's annoying. I'm gonna play whatever one I get my hand on.
Yeah, it was something weird like that. They're connected. I don't remember all the details, but they're really solid games. They're more SMT, but I love SMT anyway, so it's fine.
Fair. Cool.
They should be good. You get to beat up Hitler. Well, actually, in the Americanized version, I don't think you do. Sadly, the localized version. But
well, S tier it is. Oh wait, do we count the Q games though? We counted spin-offs for everything.
Okay, then put it at the bottom of S tier because
they're that bad. They jump all the way down to the bottom of S tier.
One of the Qs, PQ1 is so bad because it not only is it like.
What about here?
That's fine. PQ1 is really bad because so I'm not a big fan of that style of dungeon crawling in general. Which is like the Etrian Odysseys, the old SMTs are like that.
The fucking do 2 things in the dungeon and then you have to leave.
But the annoying thing, so it gets better than that in PQ later on, but the game is just hard to be hard. Like, it's not even rewarding hard. It's just, you have to grind on the lowest level for 8 hours to be able to beat the first dungeon. Yeah, it's so fucking stupid.
I played PQ and I was actually kind of excited about it. And I thought I was crazy. You ever play a game and then you go to a different game, you're like, do I not like video games anymore? Is this me? So I had to ask Aaron. I was like, Aaron, is Persona Q bad? And you're like, yes. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's rough. It's just hard for just to be hard. Again, not to do the Dark Souls comparison, but it's like Dark Souls in the regards that it's hard just to be hard. There's no reason for it.
Yeah. So I'll play PQ2. I'll give it a shot.
PQ2, I haven't played it yet. I actually just mentioned earlier today that I want to get it, but it is supposed to fix a lot of those errors, and it's supposed to be a lot better. I've heard it's a lot better. It's still that dungeon crawling type game, so if you don't like the old school dungeon crawlers where you it's all grid based and you see in front of you and then you can kind of turn and walk, it's not going to be for you, but it's supposed to be really good.
I'll give it a shot.
I heard the first Q was good until I played it. It sucked, and then all of a sudden I started seeing everywhere that it was bad. So
yeah, every review I saw of Q was good, so I was like, do I not like video games anymore? I'm scared.
No. You'll see most user reviews don't like it.
Yeah. Okay, Pokemon.
I gotta put it S tier.
I would...
What are you gonna say bad about Pokemon?
Oh, no, I'm not... Well... I mean,
even the spin-offs are good.
No. It's not that.
Except for Hey You Pikachu.
No, it's not. It's not that. It's just like I feel like after Gen 6, I've lost interest in new Pokemon.
I think that's a mix for you of nostalgia. Not that you're like a nostalgia king or anything, but like nostalgia, because I had the same issue for a couple gens until I looked at the series differently. A mix of nostalgia and just overplaying the series.
I sort of agree, but sort of disagree, because like up to 6, I like, but then I really did not like Sun and Moon. I get they were trying something different with like the gym challenges or whatever, the trials. I just didn't like that, and I found Sun and Moon was painfully slow. Like my issue with Sun and Moon,
Ultra Sun and Moon fixed that though.
Maybe I'll go try it, but like
because I originally got Sun and I barely got halfway through it before I put it down. I couldn't play it. I got an Ultra version of either Sun or Moon. I beat it. I loved it. It was fun.
Right,
I enjoyed it.
So maybe I'll try that. But I remember I get to that same town that Team Skull is in every time, and like they took it over. It's all dilapidated. And like I just remember like it's like that was like peak lazy Nintendo where like I remember X and Y, they went all out. But like I'd walk up to a hole in a wall that like I can see both sides of because it's an overview camera. And the screen would just walk up to it, fade out, fade in. I'd be on the other side. I'm like, yo, just fucking make me walk over it. And it just adds time on the game. And I was just like, oh my god. Like it's just little shit like that. I was like, I don't even want to fucking play it, man. I can't
argue like. So I like most of the Alolan forms personally. I like Alolans and stuff like that, and that they kept that style instead of doing like megas and stuff like that. Again.
I don't really like megas. I thought it was great for one game, but I was like, whatever.
Yeah. But I like the fact that like the idea, because it's actually like a realistic thing that like if the same animal is on 2 different continents, like it gets brought over or split up for some reason, it'll evolve differently over time. I think that's a cool concept.
Some of them I got, but like, why was Vulpix ice? Like that one was dumb.
Because it grew up in a different continent.
I don't know. It was okay, but like I'm not too keen on them. Sword and Shield like was better, but there was a lot of laziness from Nintendo. Like they could have done so much.
Yeah, it definitely was. I feel like Sword and Shield, they were too focused on certain aspects.
Yeah. That
they made the world very empty. Because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the game. I played through it. I beat it.
Yeah, I did too.
I enjoy raiding with my friends. I think that's fun. But I just think there should have been more to the game.
Yeah, like that is the least replayable Pokemon to me. Like
I agree.
Yeah, once I beat it, I was like, I have no desire to go get the legendaries or do anything. I was like,
the only thing I've done since I beat it is the day I beat it, I got I think 1 other legendary or something, and then all I do is sometimes raid with friends. That's it.
Yeah, I can't be bothered. Overall, the series is good, but I'd put it at the bottom of S.
I don't know, dude, because just like, well, not as much as Mario, but you got like Pokemon Gale of Darkness, which you haven't played and you need to fucking play.
I've heard.
It's literally so good.
I've heard.
The Mystery Dungeon games, it's not my style of game, but they're really good games. I mean, you could leave it there. That's fine. It's definitely S tier. We're going to argue all day about this, but Pokemon Snap is an amazing game. Though short,
Okay.
is an amazing game.
Okay. I'll let you have.
Pokemon Stadium's a fun little spin-off. It's nothing great, but it's not bad. It was good for the time.
Yeah,
it was good for the time.
I'd play him again.
Yeah. But like, the Pokemon trading card game was a really fun game. I enjoyed that.
That was fun, and I played that game to death, and I'm mad we never got the sequel.
Same, honestly, because I love that game.
Yeah.
That's like one of the few that I almost put Yu-Gi-Oh on this list because I love card games, but that's one of the few games that I could really play that wasn't Yu-Gi-Oh, that was a card game on a like video game system.
Yeah, I can leave Pokemon.
I think S is fair. That's fine. As long as it's an S tier. I think it needs to be S tier.
Street Fighter.
Me personally, I'd put it 1 step below Mortal Kombat.
I would say I'd put it above Mortal Kombat.
That's fine.
I'd put it here, above Kingdom Hearts.
I wouldn't, but that's fine. I'm not going to argue with it. Street Fighter was very influential. It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest fighting franchise of all time.
Because while Mortal Kombat had its highs and lows, Street Fighter has been pretty consistent the whole time.
I think there was only 1 game that was considered bad, right?
Well, there's 2. They tried a 3D fighter once. That was bad. And then they did the movie game one, which is funny to look at, but it's actually a decent Street Fighter game.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did like Marvel, I don't know if you count Marvel vs. Capcom and the Capcom Cross SNK games. Like,
I mean, I feel like you can count them to benefit it, but not hurt it. Because
yeah,
I know there's good ones and bad ones of those.
Right. So, I think it's better than Mortal Kombat because it's been more consistent. 5 came out shitty. It came out shitty, but like, it's fixed now.
That's fair.
I would put it here. That's fine with me. Oh, excuse me.
I feel like I said, for me, they're about even. They both had like big impact on the like that type of franchise. They had big. They both have like big characters that everyone knows, with Sub-Zero, Scorpion. And then you have Ryu, Ken, and Chun-Li.
Mm-hmm.
Like they both have their own things. I think a lot of it can be up to personal opinion, but I can see the argument that it's more consistent of a franchise to put it higher.
Hell yeah, Sonic, right there. Dude, as a whole series, think about all the shit Sonic went through. The Genesis games are fine, and then after that, it's a fucking roller coaster.
And that's why I put it C, because there is some S-tier Sonic games, and there is some F-tier Sonic games. Sonic Heroes, right off the top of the bat. If you don't think that's S-tier, you're garbage.
I haven't played it.
You're a garbage person.
I haven't played it.
It is easily S-tier. It's very inconsistent series, but it has to be C-tier, dude.
The only reason I'd say it's not C even is because Sonic is a lie. It is a game about one level of going really fucking fast, and then immediately the next level's like, all right, stop all that. You got to platform real slow.
But that doesn't, like, that's a lie, but that doesn't take away from the game design. That doesn't mean the game's bad.
I think it does take away from the game design. Because, like, the whole thing is marketed around going fast, and then you don't.
But you can.
But you can, and then you die.
Unless you're really good.
I don't know. And then all the spin-offs are bad. They're bad.
I disagree.
Like, come on. Black Knight, you're going to go play that again?
I think it's C tier. I'm not asking you to put it like A tier. The whole franchise isn't bad. You can't become that iconic of a franchise if you're that bad.
I think it's only iconic because it was around the time. It was like, look what Genesis can do that Nintendo don't. Like, if Sonic came out on the Super Nintendo, I don't think anyone would give a shit.
I don't know. I think the original games were really solid platformers. I had more fun with them than I ever did with Mario personally.
Okay.
When it comes to like the old original games.
Ironically,
I know that there is a lot of garbage in the franchise. I'm not going to say there's not. There is some of the worst games ever in the franchise. But
I would ironically say, although Sonic is supposed to be the fastest person alive, he's been playing catch up to Mario ever since Sega died.
Yuck.
So C is fine. Whatever.
I would plan on going C at the beginning anyways.
All right. All you here.
I put C above Sonic.
All right. That's fine with me.
I love the franchise. I love the series. The games are not for everyone. The only game I would want everyone to try is Fatal Bullet because it's like an anime shooter and it's really fucking fun. The gameplay is absolutely wonderful.
How many are there?
Hollow, Lost Song, 5. I had to count them in my head real quick. There's 5 of them. The newest one just came out a couple months ago. I actually really enjoy it. It's kind of meant to be like a single player RPG that when you beat the main story becomes an MMO.
Okay. So
like it's kind of cool. It's kind of like a different concept. I haven't beaten it yet because I only play games every so often, and with school right now, I'm spending my time splitting things up too much.
Mm-hmm.
But the cool thing is, they had some stuff planned that they were going to release for it after it was out, but there were some issues that people had. It wasn't like the game was broken, but there were some little issues that people had when the game came out, and they decided they wanted to fix those issues before worrying about any type of DLC and stuff. So they've been like putting out some patches, and then on top of that, because they're putting extra time into working on the game,
mm-hmm.
the load times and saving times, they're like tweaking as they're going through, making things better, and the game's getting faster and better. So people who get the game a little bit later are going to have a lot quicker and better time, I think.
Yeah.
But like, they're also making it more user friendly because the combat isn't like confusing, but to get good at it can be. So they're making it a little bit easier for some people. Like they're adding little options so you can make it easier if you want.
Right.
Quality of life stuff. And I think it's cool that they're more worried about making the base game really good before they're worried about putting stuff out to make more money.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
So the two newest games I would say play. I would definitely say even if you're not a Sword Art fan, play Fatal Bullet. It's a fun game. There's a bit of story dump at the beginning that slows it down, but like it's good. The older games only play if you're a Sword Art fan. That's all I'm gonna say. They're not bad, but they're very grindy. It's a grindy franchise.
Deal. Tales of series.
I never played a single one. This one's all you.
All right, this one's all me. Here's the deal. I've played 2 Tales of games. Or no, I've played 3 of them. Sorry now. And they've all been really, really fucking good. The easiest way to put it is like if you like Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest, but you don't like turn-based battles, this is it. Because what you do is it runs around in a world like Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy, but when you hit in the battle, you're in a little arena, and you and your allies are just fighting in real time. So like you have control over the battle.
Not for me.
I fucking love it. I love hitting crazy combos.
I understand the appeal, and I understand most people in this world don't like turn-based anymore. I will always die on the hill that I love turn-based 10 times more.
And you can. I love them both, but I love that combat more. Symphonia is an S-tier game for me.
I can agree with that from everything I've heard.
Tales of the Abyss, I heard gets split. The worst thing I've heard about Tales of the Abyss is that your character's a dickhole, and he fucking is a dickhole, but it's part of his character to like have a redemption arc. Tales of Hearts R was pretty average, but from what I've heard, most to all the Tales games are really, really good. So I would put it probably at the end of A.
I feel like putting it between Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy is a fair. I think where it's at's fair.
Oh, because Final Fantasy is right here.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay.
Honestly, the more we do this, I kind of want to bump Final Fantasy up to A because there's so much good, but we don't have to if you don't want to.
I'm fine with it.
Okay, because I think it deserves it. I think there's so many highs and so much that franchise has done that it should be an A, even with how bad 13 is.
It's fair. I feel like these last 2 are mine too, but whatever.
I can talk a little bit about them.
All right, well, Uncharted I'm putting right here. Listen,
I would say A tier. I don't know how you could put it above Mass Effect.
Because every single game Uncharted to put out, even though there's only 5 of them, are all S to A tier. Every single one of them.
So is Mass Effect.
Okay.
Well, except Andromeda. I forgot about Andromeda.
Right, but that's the thing. You have one flaw, even if it's 4 games. Maybe it nets out. But Uncharted 1 may be the weakest, but it's a B+. Uncharted 2 is an S tier game. Solid story. Yeah, it's linear, but it's solid story. Gets to the point. The action's good. The puzzles are good. Everything about it is paced well. 3, just like a smidgen below, but it's still like an A+. And then 4 is a double S if I could do it. And then Lost Legacy was a side story to 4, and they took everything about 4 and tweaked it even better. You're just not Nathan Drake. I would put it above Mario, without a doubt.
I mean, I can't argue because I haven't played it. I've watched people play it, including you. I don't know. I feel like
the thing about Mass Effect, though, is like they're so different games. It's hard to compare the two.
I just feel like some of the things that Uncharted does, Mass Effect does better.
Like what? Like
character development. Besides Nathan.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to develop a character. Well, that's the point of Mass Effect. In Uncharted, I'm playing an Indiana Jones movie. I'm not here to develop characters. Nathan Drake is an egotistical dick who thinks about himself first. It goes into his marriage life, where like in the 4th game, he's having marriage troubles because Elena's like, you need to fucking stop doing this. We're trying to have a family. He goes, yeah, but I'm not. So he lies to her the whole game. She finds out where he is, and it becomes a big plot point of the game. Like,
I guess. Like I said, I have to play it to argue. I have it installed on my system.
I would tell you play 2.
The first 3. So.
I will argue 1's skippable. I don't know how the remastered one is, but like 1 itself is pretty skippable. I started at 2, and that is still my favorite online game to this day. 2.
Mass Effect 3 online was really fun, actually.
Yeah, I only know like you and one other person that talk about it, to be fair.
It didn't get a lot of love because Mass Effect is such a single-player, heavy-based franchise.
Right.
But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It was really good. I never had an... It's still going on like the PC servers. I don't know if the PlayStation servers are.
I doubt it. Is it on the Wii U servers, though?
Wii U, bro.
Bro. Okay. Zelda.
I know where I'd put it, even though I think it's overrated.
Where are you going to put it?
I'd put it S tier.
I would put it S tier. I just want to say one thing. Zelda's not an RPG. Just because it's a guy with a sword in medieval times, it's not an RPG. It's an action-adventure game. I would have to like go through every Zelda to like really average it out. Like 1's great. 2, I don't like that much. Link to the Past, great. Ocarina's great. Majora's Mask sucks. Wind Waker's good. Like, really, most of them are good. The only one I haven't played is Skyward Sword, and I've enjoyed most to all Zeldas except Majora's Mask, really.
Like I said, I think the franchise is good. I think it's overrated as fuck. I think people jerk it off way more than it deserves. But if I'm going to put Mario up there, I feel like I have to put Zelda up there because...
But would you put it up in front of Pokemon?
I put Pokemon in front of Mario personally, but
I could see
that's
that.
me personally.
No, I'm with you. I would leave it like this, honestly.
I'm fine with that. I think, like I said, Zelda, I know how good it is, but it's not for me.
I don't even think we need that F row. I
didn't even need the D row.
I put the D row there for like clarification. I would argue Sonic's still a D, but
I think there's too many games that are good for it to be a D.
For Sonic?
For Sonic. Yeah.
All right, everyone that's on Patreon, everyone who listens to this later, tell Aaron why he's fucking wrong about that, but that's fine.
I literally think you're just a hater because you're like, I want to go fast. This should be a racing game.
No, because he tried a racing game, and it was just like the first time it was bad, and the other times it was Mario Kart. I'd argue his racing games are just as good now, but, you know, whatever.
I was just saying...
I'm standing by it.
You're dumb. I hate you.
Okay, cool. Hey, I mean, I'm good with this order, too, really.
I still put Persona number 1.
I don't know, man.
5 is just that good to me.
I don't know. I've played more Fire Emblem than Persona, so I can't really argue it.
But there's also 16 Fire Emblems and 5 Personas.
Okay. That's fair. Okay. So that's our order. Yeah. All right.
I'm actually surprised Golden Sun, that you were cool with Golden Sun being that high.
I'm fine. You've played all of them. I've only played one of them. I can't really talk too much.
Like, I love that franchise so much.
I understand I fucked up, too, and I don't understand one part of it, so, like...
I feel like if you can understand the magic, like the Jin system and everything, if I can, like, just sit down with you if you go to play 2 or something and talk you through it real quick at the beginning, I think you'll be like, yeah, this game's an S tier.
Yeah, but my problem is, what takes away from a good game is how easily... Not that every game has to hold your hand and be like, do you understand? But, like, it just wasn't accessible for me, and it wasn't well explained. Things can be complicated and well explained, though, you know?
Yeah, but I think it was explained enough. I think part of your problem, and this isn't a you problem, it's just your problem with this game, was you streamed while playing the beginning of this.
Yeah, okay.
And that's going to split your attention. Genealogy of the Holy War is a good Fire Emblem. It's what many people's favorites. I'm having an time playing it because I'm so focused on chat and I'm so focused on that like only some of the story is stuck with me. When most Fire Emblem games, everything sticks with me, and that happens when you stream games.
It's almost like you stream games, you're worse at them.
It's because you are, even if it's still funny to make fun of Kev.
Yeah. I hate everybody. All right, I guess we can...
I think that was the biggest thing. Like, if you played Golden Sun off stream at the beginning and played that part off stream, you might have absorbed a little bit more of it.
Fucking maybe. So here's the deal. We should probably read this in tiers.
Read it.
Well, in tiers.
Okay.
So why don't you start at S?
Bottom up. Bottom up.
Oh, bottom
Worst
up.
to best.
C tier. Sonic and
So
Sword
we
Art
gotta start
Online.
from the start from the right to the left. Go right to left because you gotta start from the worst to the best.
All right, I'll start. D tier. All right, Aaron. C tier.
Sonic and then Sword Art.
B tier. We got Mortal Kombat, then Kingdom Hearts, which makes me cringe. Street Fighter, and then Killzone 2. I have Killzone 2 there, but whatever. Sorry.
It's a Killzone franchise.
Yeah.
A tier we have Final Fantasy, Tales, Assassin's Creed, Mega Man, which I'd put lower, but that's me. Dragon Quest, KOTOR, Dragon Age, Mass Effect.
And S tier we got Legend of Zelda. We got Mario.
Legend of Link.
We got Pokemon. We got Uncharted. We have Sun is Gold. We have Fire Emblem, and then Persons for S.
Persons.
No, just Persons. Because I always type Persons instead of Persona on my phone, and I get really annoyed by it.
Oh, I always type Persona, and then it corrects it to Persons.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I put Persona. It's like, you meant Persons. I'm like, no, that's people, you fucking idiot. All right. Do we want to tease this on Twitters or no?
We can. I'd save it. We could post it up there.
Yeah, let me just add this.
Yeah. Oh, cool, bro.
All right, done. You're a
I hate you so much.
No, you don't though.
Yeah, you can put it on Twitter. Twitter after this.
I'll block out like some of them. Be like, where do these go? What's here? You know.
Block out the whole S row, except for maybe one game.
I'll just put I'll re-edit this and just put Sonic at the top and everything else at the bottom, and have everyone freak the fuck out.
Sonic S tier, everything else D.
Yes. All right, that'll do it. We're done here. I'm hungry. I haven't seen Tina all day because she's been doing wedding stuff, so she's probably like
gross wedding stuff.
Yeah, no, getting.
Anyways, follow Kev at Console Kev at Twitch and Twitter. Follow me at Aaron Norman at Twitter and Instagram, and Aaron Norman 93 at Twitch. Peace. Friend of me Fire too at Twitter. That's a thing. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah. Word.
Hopefully you already followed that by now, though.